Thank you everyone for coming for our first meeting of the quarter. We're going to try to get started. Sorry for a little bit of delay. We had some technical difficulty setting up since we're using this room for the first time this quarter. But quick show of hands. Who's here for ACM Cyber? Am I right? Yeah, let's give it up for ACM Cyber. All right. So this is Cyber Academy. This is sort of like our CTF day. But before we jump into it, let's do a quick set of stuffs. Quick thing. So we have something called Cyber Pals. It might be a little bit hard to move since we're a little tense right now, but if you want to know who's in your Cyber Pal family, I'll leave this up for a bit. Quickly scan this QR code if you want to quickly scan. I'll leave it up for a second. When everyone's sort of done, just let me know, and then we'll take it down. So
we'll link the sheet and announce it. Being like perpetually updated. So we signed up for Cyber Pal.
Apply for American Studies or something. That's my chance.
Okay, did everyone get that?
Sure.
Okay, we'll also put in announcements if you have trouble finding it. So on to the next slide. Okay, so for people who are new to the club, you may be confused what this is, but a quick show of hands if you're a returning member from last year. So, okay, we have you. Oh, everyone, a lot of people are in the back. So if you guys don't know what PBR is our competitive CTF team, and like all good teams, we have a team cheer. So you guys get to be part of PBR for a bit to try and do our team cheer. So here's how we do our cheer. You guys get to do it yourselves. So we sort of split the room into three. So this is Team P, Team B, Team R. So what we do is P, B, R, Ra, and then we repeat this a few times. So in full, it's P, B, R, Ra, P, B, R, Ra, P, B, R, Ra, and then all together we go P, B, R, Ra. So are you guys ready for PBR? Yeah, okay, so let's do it. P, B, R, Ra, P, B, R, Ra, P, B, R, Ra, P, B, R, Ra. All right, let's go. I thought you would show up to a CS club and be quiet or something. I don't know. So, yeah, a little bit about this. Oops, so sorry, we forgot to put the date on there. But yeah, quick set of announcements. If you guys are here, you know where Cyber Academy is every Monday from 6 to 8, this room, same time. This quarter, we're really easy. We also have Cyber Lab, this room, same time on Wednesdays every week this quarter. This week, we have a really cool talk by Michelle on usable security. So if you sort of want to come listen to that as well, or if you're signed up for one of the Cyber Lab projects, you guys will be meeting this room, same time this Wednesday this week. You guys will be sort of seeing what the projects are and getting started with that. Cyber Academy next week, we have a really cool talk on file forensics by Audrey. Audrey, give a quick wave over there in the back. Yeah, that'll be really cool. PBR, our first CTF is in 2 weeks from now. It's the Saturday of week 3. So make sure to show up to E4 from 12 to 6. Please block off your Saturday if you're part of PBR. This CTF is really beginner friendly. So if you're unsure whether or not you want to try out CTFs, feel free to just come along, meet us there. We'll send out more information next week. Yeah, Deadface is really fun, really beginner friendly. So we'll start to participate in that. And oops, we forgot some information on here, but we'll be having our first club social in Santa Monica. Quick trip to the beach at the end of week 4. So keep an eye out for more information about that.
That's the 28th of October. I forgot to put the date on there. Quick overview of Cyber Academy this quarter. Today we have a talk by Victoria on setup with all tools and introduction to Linux. If you have a talk next week, Audrey's giving her file forensics talk. And you can just see a quick overview of everything we've got going on this Monday, or on Mondays. this quarter. Keep an eye out for that. There's also a separate schedule for Cyber Lab that if we haven't posted, we will post that. Yes.
All right, quick show of hands. Who here has not yet filled out the membership form? That's okay, perfectly fine. Please just scan this QR code. This lets us help keep ourselves organized. So we have a lot of people sign up. We have over 100 signups at the moment. So it just helps us keep track of what exactly is going on. So if you take like literally 5 minutes just to fill this out, this helps us out quite a bit.
Another note, who here is not in our Discord?
Well, I'll say that a bit. Is anyone here not in our Discord? Okay, join our Discord. That's the place we'll be sort of
It's really
yeah, someone will put the link up here. But yeah, did everyone get the QR code who needed it? Okay, nice. All right, so something we also do every meeting is what we call social engineering time. You know, you guys should get to know each other a little bit. So yeah, turn to your neighbor, talk a little bit, you know, practice your social engineering skills. What's your favorite place to eat in Westwood? I'll go and just say, anyone here a fan of Mr. Rice? Anyone been to Mr. Rice? Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mr. Rice. So yeah, feel free to talk to your neighbor. Let them know what your favorite place
Every time I go there, rice, yes.
Bringing it back in a little bit. Sorry to cut off social engineering time. But yeah, you guys get to socialize a bit more later in the meeting. For people here who try to keep up on the ACM membership portal, this is the meeting code for today. So feel free to write this down, take a photo real quick just to get some points. Quick note, you can only submit it for points during the meeting time, which is between 6 to 8 p.m. So well, during the presentation, I recommend just taking 30 seconds just to log in and submitting this on there. People just give me a thumbs up whenever you got it or took a photo. Okay. Very speedy typer, so. All right, everyone got the code, or does anyone need it? Okay, so that go ahead.
Yes, I made the diagram, I get to do the slide. All right, so if you guys, this is our first meeting of the quarter. You guys didn't get to attend our GM. We talked a little bit about the way our meetings are gonna run. Essentially, every meeting, both Cyber Academy, Cyber Lab, anything really we have is gonna start out with a 15-minute talk, kind of like the one you're gonna hear from Victoria in hopefully less than 5 minutes. These are member-led talks, so not just our officers lead them. We have, I think, 4 talks this quarter. They're led by general members of the club. If you want to sign up for that next quarter, we'll have more info on that later. Guest speakers, etc. The rest of the time, basically the next 85 minutes is going to be spent doing stuff. So actually like doing practical things to improve your skills or work on a cool project. Cyber Lab, you'll be working on the project you signed up for. And on this day, Cyber Academy, you'll just be working with your peers, working with officers on Capture the Flag style problem. If you haven't seen one of those, you will see one for the first time today. I think they're pretty fun. So essentially our goal is to give you the tools and spend the rest of the time building your skills. I think that's it for announcement.
But yeah, without But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Victoria, who's going to go through a little bit of CTF setup and an intro to Linux. But if you don't know Victoria, Victoria is one of our officers. But quick shout out though, it's actually by coincidence Victoria's birthday. So yeah, let's happy birthday for Victoria real quick. Ready? All right, yeah, I'm like conducting here, lol. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, with that, me and Selma are gonna get kicked off, and yeah, we're gonna pass it off to Victoria.
Thank you guys. Happy birthday. But yeah, basically my name is Victoria and I'll be covering like setup and intro to Linux. And if you haven't seen it before, you probably will in your CS classes, so it's like super good to know. But basically Linux is an operating system, which is basically like system software that manages like hardware and software. It's free and open source, which means that the source code is available online for modification. And the basic components of Linux are hardware, which is basically like the physical equipment, the kernel, which communicates between the hardware and the processes, and the shell, which communicates with the users and executes the commands, and then the applications, which are more specialized tools. Anyone know the name of the Linux mascot? Shout it out.
Tux.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. So I'll go over a little bit about terminal, command line, and shell because people get a little bit confused. But basically, the terminal is like the environment where you find the input and the output. The command line is like the set of instructions that we provide to the computer. And shell is like the interpreter and the executor of these instructions. So basically, these are the ways to access the terminal. From the Mac, you could just type terminal with the launchpad. From Windows, just type open terminal using search. But usually, but there's another tool that we can use in your browser called the CTF Container. And it's super helpful because it's in your browser, so you can keep your host machine. But basically, this is a link to the CTF dev container. Do I have to like? If you link this, then if you scroll down under getting started, you could put the link open in GitHub Codespaces. And I'll take you to something that looks like this.
Can everyone hear in the back okay, or? Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so basically the left has like the list of all the files that are in the like CTF dev container. And then you could like create files and then create folders with these buttons. And then in the middle section is like the file that you're editing. Then if you click this button, the second button on the top right, that's the terminal. So if I just click a random file, let's say install forensics.sh, we have like the apt install -y binlog. So If you guys haven't seen app before, it's a package manager, and basically it's a collection of software tools that automates like the process of installing, configuring, updating, removing computer programs. So to install a program, you just do apt install. So basically, let's go over some of the basic commands. The PC tells you what directory that you're in. ls, do that, they'll tell you the list of the files that are in the current directory. And then cd, which stands for change directory, is basically like to get into another directory. So right now I'm in workspaces slash CTF container, but if I wanted to go to source, I just do cd source. Then to make a file, you just do touch and then the file name. So if I wanted to like name a file called like test, I would do touch test. And then if you can see it, it actually pops up on the left. So that's cool too. And then if you want to make a directory, which is basically like a folder, you do make dir. And the name of the directory that you like. Directory. And it'll also pop up on the left. Okay. And then to remove a file, you do rm. So if I wanted to remove the file that I just made, I would do rm test. Then if I wanted to remove the directory that I just made, I would do rmdir with dir, and then my directory. And then you'll see that they disappear. Yeah. So some of the ways that you can interact with files, you do cat and then the name of the file, which prints out the contents of the file. So if I wanted to see what was in install forensics.sh, I would do cat install 6.
Victoria, I think you have a question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Is there any way you can make the terminal bigger?
Yeah, feel free to just raise your hand if you have any questions. There are officers sitting around that can answer, or we'll try to answer up here.
Is that better?
Maybe just like slightly bigger. Okay, cool. I think this is good.
Okay. Yeah, so if I wanted to see what was in this file, I would just do cat and then it just prints out the contents of the file. And then also another helpful tool is if you're like typing, you could press tab and then it'll autofill for you. So if I press tab, it'll autofill forensics.sh. And if I do that, it tells me like the contents of the file. Other things that you could use are CP for copy and then MV for move. So if I wanted to copy my file, install forensics sh into like a file called test, I could just do that. And then you could see the file on the side is the exact same as install forensics.sh. And other tools are you could search through directories and files. So for example, find specific files and directories, and then grep find specific matches in files. So I'll show you how that differs. If I want to go back a directory, I could do cd dot. So if I wanted to look in my source directory and find files that ended with .sh, then what I could do is find, and then you would type in the directory afterwards. And then you would type in like name, -name, and then the star for like any file that has an ending of sh. And then it'll tell you everything that has the ending of sh. You could also use find for like types of files such as like files or like directories. So I could do find /name dash type, and then F, and then it'll tell me all the files that are in my source directory. On the other hand, like grep can look inside files and search for strings. So for example, if I wanted to search for like app or like any like programs that I download in install forensics, then I could do grep. Then the directory. Right, I'm already in source, so I would just do install run. And then it'll show me apt inside the terminal. Are there any questions so far? So if you wanted more of an interactive recap of the slides, you can click on this link. And then basically it'll go through the different commands that I covered, and then you can test it out yourself too.
For people who don't know what that is, that's a learning lab developed by our club, Cyber and PHLA. So pretty cool. We made it ourselves. So if you please give us feedback on it, because we're trying to improve it. Okay, let's give it up for Victoria. Thank you. Any final questions? If not, we're gonna jump into activity in a bit. Next slide. You guys will get to meet your cyber pals soon. Keep going. But yeah, now it's hacking time, so you guys get to try it yourself. So if you're a bit of a beginner, we sort of have 4 different groups we sort of split up to. If you're sort of a beginner, if you saw the presentation, like, man, I didn't really understand Linux fully, I want to work on it today, then Audrey, Savannah, and Victoria will be sort of leading that group. If you want to do cryptography, if you really like math, then Arnav and Gary will be leading a cryptography group. And then if you want to do what's known as Pwn or Rev, that's like reverse engineering binary exploitation. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, you can try it out if you're interested. It's a little bit of a reading assembly, but we'll see what they sort of do today. And web, if you want to try web hacking, me and Andrew will be there. So if you want to try that, we'll be doing a little bit of web hacking. So I'll give everyone a second to sort of think about it, but since we have a lot of people, we have an overflow room, so we're going to be moving one of the groups to the overflow room. Quick show of hands, who wants to do some Linux challenges? Anyone? Okay, so that's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's like 15. Who wants to do cryptography? Rev Pwn, who wants to do Rev Pwn? Even smaller of a group.
Sorry.
And who wants to do web hacking?
Ain't no way this room's web based, bro.
Okay, so it looks like there's more. So it looks like Rev Pwn might be. If you want to do reverse engineering or Pwn, please raise your hand again. You guys will be just going down the hall to the clubhouse. So if you guys can stand up and follow Salma, she'll lead you guys to the clubhouse. If you want to do crypto, come up over here. If you want to do web hacking, come over here.